It seems like with every single passing day, something new comes out, more information is revealed about potentially the domino pieces that's going to lay into place with the Nintendo Switch 2 probably launching sometime this summer, and the big Nintendo Switch 2 April Direct that people are highly anticipating. And now we're going to go over a couple other big games that's planned apparently for the Nintendo Switch 2 courtesy of Microsoft, and one of them has been confirmed for another platform, and this one is pretty awesome to say the least. But before we get into that one, let's go ahead and jump into what's happening with the new Fable game, because a brand new rumor has appeared, and it comes from a pretty credible source, or someone who definitely knows what they're talking about when it comes to some things. Now let's first start off with what was said by Mr. Xtas. He actually shared this. It's from Vandal, and Vandal is claiming that Fable could be coming to the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2, get this, day and date, day one, with the Xbox Series and PC versions of the game, and work has already begun on porting it. Now, he did say, just to make sure that we get this clear, because he is the source for some of these other games that we're going to talk about, another game that we're going to be talking about that confirmed for PS5 in just a bit. He is usually the source for that, but he's saying he can't personally confirm the day one release, but he can state that there is active work going on developing the port. So this Xtas guy, he's been in the news a lot lately with information. He's been right on a number of things in the past, so it does seem like this is highly likely or possible, and based off of what we're seeing from Microsoft, I can absolutely see them porting something like Fable, where you have no idea where the sales are going to be after, what, a decade plus of not having any games that have been a hit at all. Fable has not been popular for a very long time. Fable has not been in the good graces of gamers since Fable 2. Fable 3 was a little bit of a some people absolutely loved it, but other people thought that it wasn't so great. Then they had a bunch of flops in a row. Fable with the Kinect game, they had the canceled Xbox One game. There's just been disaster that has hit Fable since pretty much Fable 2/Fable 3-ish. So if there was a game that they're going to say, hey, we want this game to be popular, we want this game to pop off, it's an RPG, like how well do those do on the Xbox? Not so sure. I think that porting it over to the Nintendo Switch 2 and the PlayStation 5, if the game is good, that is a solid way to make sure this game probably has a good amount of success. If it's good, because you'll have the PlayStation 5 player base, you'll have the big Nintendo Switch 2 player base, which is going to grow exponentially when it comes down to it. You're going to have PC, that's always PC, that's great, and your Xbox Series base to sell to. That is setting up the studio, Playground Games, and Fable to truly come back and be the franchise that it once was with Fable 1 and Fable 2. So I would love for this to happen. I am a huge Fable fan myself. I played and beat Fable 1, Fable 2, played Fable 3, didn't like it, and I've been highly anticipating almost every single Fable release before they get canceled or say that nothing's happening or whatever the case is. I even played Fable on the Xbox One, like the MMO canceled game at E3 one year, and thought it was great. So this is something that I absolutely want to happen. I don't want Fable to launch and then nobody buys the game. Then Microsoft ends up saying, see, look, nobody wants a new Fable. Fable, it can't sell. People aren't buying it, because Microsoft definitely has a new strategy on what they're doing, and it's about selling games and making as much revenue as they can with their games coming over to other systems to become the biggest publisher in gaming by a large margin. So let's hope that this is actually true, just because I want this in terms of Fable to be successful overall. I would have bought the game on the Xbox Series anyway, and I might still buy it on the Xbox Series if that's the best place to play the game, but I'll absolutely support a Nintendo Switch 2 version of it to have Fable on the go. And if there's cross-play or cross-save and all of that, which would be awesome, I can take Fable on the go with my Nintendo Switch 2 and then also have it on my Xbox Series X at home. So I think that would be a great way to get things done. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to potentially playing Fable on your PlayStation 5 or on your Nintendo Switch 2 day and date, or on the system at all? I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section. But before we get into this next topic, if you're enjoying the video, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and jump right back in here. Now we're going to move on to another game that was recently confirmed for the PlayStation 5, which was also leaked that it was coming to other platforms, and that is Forza Horizon 5. That is a confirmation of the PlayStation 5 game that we recently heard about. And now Xtas, the same guy that we've been talking about before, he is a leaker that claimed that Forza Horizon 5 would be coming to PlayStation 5, which has now been confirmed. He is now saying that the game will also be heading to the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's just a rumor, but he nailed that Forza was coming to the PlayStation 5. Now we have that confirmation. It's coming out this spring. It was one of the most praised games on the Xbox Series when it came out back, I think in 2021. Definitely a racing game of the year. People really liked that game when it came out, and now it is confirmed for the PlayStation 5 this spring. There's no release date for it. You can wishlist it, but it's just coming out spring. So I'm guessing they want to launch it on the Nintendo Switch 2 and the PlayStation 5 at the same time, or maybe it'll be a staggered release. We don't know when the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out, so I'm personally thinking, based off of just the cadence from the Nintendo Switch 1, that the Nintendo Switch 2 will launch in June, because if you look at it, October to January with the Nintendo Switch 1, that was 3 months, and then from January to March, that was 2 months. So if Nintendo does the exact same thing with the ramp up, it's going to be January, which was the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2, and then April, that was 3 months, and then 2 months after April would be June. April, May, June. So I'm guessing that's going to be it. So I think that'd be pretty cool if we got Forza Horizon 5 on the Nintendo Switch 2 and the PlayStation 5 at the same time, but that might not happen. Spring could be, May or something like that, or it could be April. I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be putting that. They just said spring at this point. But yeah, I do think that it's pretty much a done deal that Forza Horizon 5 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and also confirmed on PS5. If you remember with Gamertag Radio, we covered a story where Phil Spencer pretty much said there's no red tape. Games are going to be coming. And he even went on a segment when it comes to talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and having battery-powered devices and kind of making games for a wide spec of devices, from the Steam Deck to the ROG Ally to the Nintendo Switch 2 to the Xbox Series S, and he feels that them working on Xbox Series S so extensively will help them with some of these other devices that are not plugged in to a wall all the time, to where you do have to consider other things in terms of how they run. And obviously you can start seeing that with some of the announcements that have been happening and some of the leaks that have been coming out with what Microsoft is going to be planning for other systems. Forza was one of the holy trinity of Microsoft games that have not came over to other platforms. It was Halo, Gears, and Forza. One of those three is down, so clearly Microsoft is going all in on bringing their games to other platforms. And to be honest, there's a certain time period or window that people play these type of games like Forza and all of that, and Game Pass has been a big consumer of that. And don't get me wrong, Game Pass is great for people that like that, but you're not making any money off of the game afterwards. Like, I don't know how many people are actually going out there and buying Forza Horizon 5 at this point. You can sell that game on PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2 and actually make a lot of money on it overall, compared to it just being played on Game Pass and your Game Pass subs not getting an exponential boost every time that you release a massive game like Forza Horizon. Well, now on PS5 and the Nintendo Switch 2, you can sell that game normally where people don't have that option. So that's definitely gonna be something that brings in extra money. Now you can still buy the game on the Xbox as well, but with so many of your core fans being subscribed to Game Pass, it's one of those things to where most people probably aren't going to actually buy the game after that. They're going to just play it on Game Pass. But on PS5 and on Nintendo Switch 2, there is no option for that, so they're going to buy the game, and it's a really good racing game. I see this doing very well on PlayStation 5 and doing marginally okay or so on the Nintendo Switch 2, depending on how good the port is. Now, another thing that we know about this port, it's made by Panic Button as well. So Panic Button, they're the ones who did Doom Eternal. They are the wizards that have done some great work on the Nintendo Switch 1, working on way weaker specs than what we're getting on the Nintendo Switch 2. So with Panic Button on the case on the PS5 and maybe even the Nintendo Switch version as well, I think that this is going to be a fantastic port if it does work out to be true. So what do you guys think overall about Forza Horizon 5 coming to the Nintendo Switch based off of this rumor, and of course confirmed for the PlayStation 5. Do you plan on picking it up? I want to add this in. There is full cross-play and all of that. So if you buy the PS5 version, you'll be able to play with your Xbox friends and PC people and all of that. And if the Nintendo Switch 2 version comes, I would say, yeah, there's probably going to be cross-play and cross-save and all that on there as well. So a portable version of Forza Horizon 5 definitely seems a little bit more appealing to me. I did play the game a little bit back in 2021, but it was just one of those things where I wasn't going to sit down in front of the TV and play a racing game. I might just try it out on the Nintendo Switch 2 to see how it plays and runs and all that, but I'm not really too big on racing games. But having a portable version of that might be pretty cool overall, but we'll see if it does happen and when it does come out. All right, but moving on to the next topic here, guys, we're going to talk about a brand new Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack game, N64, that randomly appeared out of nowhere, and that is Ridge Racer 64. It is back. I actually tested this game out on the Nintendo Switch Online recently, and I thought it was interesting because I'm not, once again, a big racing fan or anything like that, but the trailer that they had was actually hilarious overall, like with the model walking and everything. So I wanted to play the game. I never played it on the N64 back in the day, but the cool thing about NSO is that it gives you access to online play with your friends. If you can set something up, you can play this 4 players online. Back in the day, you couldn't play N64 games online at all, at least some games. Like they had like the 64 DD, but obviously most people here in the US and Europe didn't get that. But there were some things, but for the most part, it was an offline system overall. So it actually adds a lot of value when you add a game that has local multiplayer to the NSO. And I think that's what people were excited about. They're saying, hey, they love this game. Ridge Racer 64 was one of their favorite games. It's known for its drifting and all of that, and for its great music. And I can confirm, I did a few quick play races, and the music is great. Racing still isn't my necessarily thing, you know, overall, but I thought it was okay for what it was. And if I played it back in the day on the 64, I probably would have liked it, because I absolutely liked racing games a lot more back then. I liked Gran Turismo on the PS1. I liked other racing games that I played. I liked the arcade racing games and all of that. So I do think that it's a really good addition to the NSO, and it's been a while since we've gotten like a big N64 game out there, so I think people were pretty happy with this Ridge Racer 64 announcement. But yeah, people are still looking for other games. I know there are some people that want Donkey Kong 64 and other titles. There's still others to come over, but I mean, the N64 doesn't have that many games in general. I mean, there's only like, what, 400 or so games made for the system or something like that. So I mean, I think that they'll eventually get all of the games that people want when it comes to the N64 online, Nintendo Switch Online, and all of that. So hopefully people will get what they want overall. But yeah, Ridge Racer, good announcement. Still very good game from how it plays on the Nintendo 64. There is a little bit of a weird thing like with the collision detection. It's pretty bad overall in terms of how the physics work and all that. I mean, it's actually terrible how the physics work and how people can just jump in front of you when there's a bump when they should have bumped you and you go up instead. So there's definitely some collision issues and some other issues overall with the racing. But once again, it's an N64 game and it's not bad, and you can now play it with your friends, relive your childhood or relive your adulthood, depending on how old you are or whatever the case is, or your teenhood, whatever you want to call it. So pretty good. What do you guys think? Ridge Racer.
It's Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer. Remember that one?
64 racing to the Nintendo Switch Online. Good addition overall. Plays good from what I played. Yeah, it's something that I think people are going to enjoy playing against their friends if you had friends and you played them back in the day with this game. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing here, guys, and that is Dragon Quest XI-S. We got a temporarily unavailable starting tomorrow on the eShop, and it's pretty much just like a lot of these other games that Nintendo has done with Square Enix in terms of the publisher, where it's been removed for a while and then it comes back later as Square Enix as the publisher. And I think that's what's going on with this one. We saw it with Octopath Traveler. We've seen it with like Live Alive or other games, something like that, right? Where they will take it off the eShop and then wait for a while, and then the publisher will change back to Square Enix or to Square Enix, and then it'll be back up. So here's what they had to say on the official Dragon Quest store. It says, for your information, Dragon Quest XI-S will be temporarily unavailable on the Nintendo eShop starting on February 1st, 2025, as we make some minor updates to the store listing. For those who have already purchased the game, fear not, the game will not be affected during this time, and you can still venture forth on your quest to save Irdra. So yeah, there you go, man. Like, it's there. They're letting you know ahead of time. Usually it just kind of happens out of nowhere. So it's good that they're actually telling you ahead of time. So if you wanted to play it this weekend or play it for whenever, because it's coming up pretty soon here, if you had to play Dragon Quest digitally, if you were planning on buying it and playing it, you might want to make sure that you get that out a bit quicker, because the game will be unavailable overall, and we don't know when it's coming back once those publishing rights are switched over in the listing and everything like that. So we'll see. But yeah, Dragon Quest XI-S, awesome game. But I do think that, once again, this is something that people are looking forward to with the Nintendo Switch 2 and the new Dragon Quest game. I've already made videos talking about this, why they've been so radio silent on the game. I highly believe that Nintendo and Square Enix have reached some type of agreement to reveal the game at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, which would rock the house, especially in Japan. That would just be a crazy instant sellout type of announcement. So I do feel that that is coming. But this, you have to take care of this first and foremost, so we'll see what happens there. And I'll probably talk about this more, because I'm trying to find some things here and there. But hey, look, April's coming up, so we'll definitely know soon enough or not when it comes down to it. But what are your thoughts, guys, when it comes to everything that we discussed overall with the Nintendo Switch 2, some of the rumors here, what's going on with the Nintendo Switch Online, and of course, Dragon Quest? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.